Next. Now let's come to part E. It is alliterative phrases. What do you mean by alliterative phrases? During the reading of the poem, you were told alliteration, the term alliteration. It is figure of speech. What do you mean by figure of speech? As in हिंदी, जैसे हिंदी में हम अलंकार यूज करते हैं. अलंकार क्या होते हैं? अलंकार भाषा की सुंदरता को बढ़ाते हैं, उन्हें अलंकार कहते हैं. जो शब्द या वाक्य जो भाषा की सुंदरता को बढ़ाते हैं. In the same way, in English also, this term is called a figure of speech. Okay, figure of speech also modifies English language. And alliteration is also a figure of speech. What do you mean by alliteration? Alliteration means a repetition of consonant sound. Okay, if you find repetition of consonant sounds, it means the term alliteration is used there in that poem. Okay, and what do we call the repetition of vowel sound? The repetition of vowel sound is called assonance. Okay, so this is the term which is assonance is the term is a figure of speech which is used for the repetition of vowel sounds. Remember students, assonance is the term which is used for the repetition of vowel sounds and consonant. Alliteration is the term. Alliteration is the figure of speech which is used for the repetition of consonant sound. So, as you all were told during the reading of the poem also that the frequently used figure of speech in the poem is alliteration. Okay, so here in this question also you have to write some alliterative phrases. Alliterative phrases मतलब वो phrase जिनमें alliteration figure of speech का use हुआ है. Okay, तो आपने वो सारे जो phrases है वो अपने poem से ढूंढने हैं जिनमें alliteration figure of speech का use हुआ है. Like first term is already written here in this book. For an example, one example is given here in this book. Magnificent in marathons. Magnificent in marathons. It is which word is repeated here? The consonant M and M is repeated here. So it is alliteration figure of speech. And you have to find some more phrases from the poem also in which alliteration figure of speech is used. For example, I have written here some example. Tough at top at taekwondo. Tough. It is T is a consonant. Tough. Again T is repeated here, and in taekwondo also again T is repeated here. So it is alliterative phrase. Tough to top at taekwondo. The next, dominates the diving board. D. The sound D is repeated here again and again. Dominates and diving. So it is again alliterative phrases here. Beats the best at boxing. Again we find here the repetition of the word which B. Okay, B beats best and boxing. These three are started with the letter B. So again the letter B is repeated here in this phrase also. So it is also alliterative phrase. Beats the best at boxing. Now again weights in wrestling. Weights, the repetition of the letter W we find here in this phrase. Weights also weights starts with W and wrestling also starts with W. Okay, weights and wrestling. It is also alliterative. It is also an alliterative phrase. And fencing the finest. Fencing. Again, we find here the repetition of the letter F. Fencing. It is started It is starting with F, letter F, and again it is started with letter F. So we find the repetition of the letter F here. So it is again an alliterative phrase. I have given some example, 5 examples I have given to you, and you have to find some more examples. These examples also can be written in your book. These also you can write in your books, and some try to find some more examples from the poem and try try to write those alliterative phrase in these in your book. Okay, dear student, I hope each and every term is clear to you now. Still, if you have any query, you may write in the comment box. It is enough for today's video, for today's class. Bye bye, students.